I shouldn't say that.
That's right.
And then
So,
enable, make sure you start that change.
no.
Okay, Tom, how are you?
Oh, good, thank you.
Good, it is 6:01 and I'm calling the P and J meetings to order on Wednesday, March 25th. Rick, we're gonna start with roll call.
Dr. Sharp's here.
Victor Gennaro here.
Tom Connaughton present.
And Sarah Brown.
Great. Okay. Excuse me. Everyone just want to take a moment to look at our current commitments. All right, you guys ready to keep moving?
Yeah, there's no surprises, so
No
no
surprises.
surprises.
Okay, first we want to hear from 116 Pacific Ave. Terry, is that you?
Yes, it is.
Please, take the floor.
Earlier, late last year, we approached this committee about a request for approximately $116,000 to offset the cost of the sprinkler system, SDC fees, and getting the water line to the building as an unanticipated cost when we started construction at the Henson Plaza building. That's a building that we purchased about 4 years ago. We've been doing renovations to it for the last 3, I think. The upstairs of that building had been vacant since the early 50s. So we chose to do the seismic and structural upgrades to the building so that we could put apartments in the upstairs of it. We entered into that under the impression, based on discussions with the county, that being the use hadn't changed, that we would not need sprinklers. That ruling was changed midway through the project, so this is just a cost that was not anticipated originally. So we did come to you asking for the entire cost. However, you didn't have the funding at the time. You told me to revisit in the spring. And in the meantime, I have had the sprinkler system installed, and we've paid for that. So what's left of that is the $48,000 SDC fee. So we are coming to asking for that. If we could, and I've already incurred the rest of the cost personally. And that's just so that we can continue to move the project forward. And I believe that the apartments at the rate we're moving will be ready in about 10 weeks. They started hanging drywall on Friday. They will finish hanging drywall tomorrow. And we should see drywall completed within about 2 weeks. The cabinets have already been built. They're on site, floor covering sitting there. Everything's pretty much there. We just got to piece it together and we anticipate being rent ready, hopefully in June, July at the very latest.
Right. Right, so. I hate to continue to be bearer of bad news, but as I understand, even though we have a line item for permits, that we don't fund the permits. That we have this line item, as I understand, so we can see the total amount of projects, but that we aren't able to.
And I respect that, and like we talked about back in winter, the offer was put on the table that if this wasn't something you elected to fund, that we could come to you with another line item of an equivalent value. And so we've still got 2 line items that haven't been touched, and that would be paint. And that's anticipated at about $25,000. And floor covering installation. I have bought the floor covering, but the installation was a separate bid, and that was at about $20,000. So the rest of the construction related items have all been touched. And by that, I mean partially paid for, completely paid for, half paid for. But those are two line items that still haven't been, no deposits, no payments, no nothing on.
Those are definitely line items that we are able to fund, and it looks, it's probably like somewhat similar, it seems to be
It's
what you're.
a little less, yeah, but close.
So, just like I said before, we're still exploring and, committed to this sidewalk project right now. So I can't just go ahead and say that this is going to happen, but if you make the changes and outline the flooring and painting costs, then perhaps this can still move forward for the whole board to review and vote on. Does anyone have any other thoughts or questions right now?
I have questions in there, but I'm not gonna certainly detract from what you just presented. So Terry, what, $48,000, what do you get?
Now, they,
What do you get for $48,000?
piece of paper, no,
A piece of paper,
I get the right to hook up to the water and pay for that myself.
and is that stem from the city or the county?
But it's a city.
It's a city fee?
Charge, so I still have to pay, like advanced excavation to come in, dig up the plaza. I gotta pay Nagley to come and tap it, and then I've gotta pay West Winds to repair the plaza.
Okay, you're getting something for that money, I
Right,
see
but
that.
for the $48,000, we get the right to hook up the water.
Yes. Is that a fee that can ever be waived?
To my understanding, no.
Correct. Okay, all right, thank you. That's
It's effectively a tax.
No, but I think it's
Yeah.
mandated by this, Justin knows more about that than I do.
Not mandated, once it's in place, it can't be waived, so. The city doesn't have to have an SDC, but once they implement the SDC, they can no longer waive this. Unless there is some clauses, like if your investment was for the public good, like if you ran a sewer line. Out Third Street, because you were gonna build down there, and your value of what you did was a public benefit, because you paid for the whole thing. Then there's times where they can like offset it again. So that's like the college when they built the PIR building. They paid for the sewer. To go for that extra, 200 yards or whatever, where it was at. And the cost of that offset for the public good to get the sewer further.
Okay,
Jason.
No, I mean, I think the project qualifies for the TURA goals and guidelines.
Yeah.
Versus the question of grant loan, money available, not available, stuff like that.
Yeah, I see that you got down here that looks like it's a possible forgivable loan. I don't think that would be possible. We're really trying to drive income. We've got bills to pay. We want to be able to do loans in the future. So if something is possible, it's probably gonna be in the form of a loan, somewhere between 5% and 6%. But yeah, those are my notes. I would make those augmentations, outline painting, outline floor covering. And, submit the full application, and we can at least bring it to the board.
Where does the not doing permits come from?
We'll have to check with Cheryl, but I believe it's one of our guys. Sorry.
Yeah, because I've never found where it's somewhere in the guidelines, original scope that was approved to do.
Yeah,
Okay,
it was, as I understand.
so I was looking for it after I saw that email and I was trying to find it and could never find that.
Yeah,
I mean, you guys can find out, we find.
Exactly,
ask a question.
that is a good question.
Yeah, everything from our bylaws and whatnot should be updated and put on the website.
It's all there,
Great.
so, and what I pulled was from the website, so.
Well, we will double check that and get back to you in an email, but as I understand. We don't do the permits, but we would do the floor covering and we do painting.
So it sounds like that would still help you, right?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on how you're gonna do it. If you're gonna do it as a loan, I would consider it. If it's going to be done in another fashion, of course, I would pursue it.
did you mean in the form of a grant or did you mean
Yes,
to sue it.
I didn't come in here looking for a loan.
Gotcha, okay.
I came in here looking to offset some of my personal investment that I made in that building.
I just can't be handing out or a good conscience, recommending grants to the board right now. We're going out for money, we've got big bills to pay, we've given out a lot of grants in the past. So we've got to find avenues to continue to drive a return on our capital and investment for these people. The people who are paying taxes for this program, so we can continue to fund programs for the future. So.
I think that there's several ways to look at all of this. And the fact that like right now, I mean, housing is a serious issue in Chilliwack. And I'm personally creating 8 units over there, 8 units over here, 1 downstairs over there. We've created 7 commercial retail locations, 5 of which have long-term leases on them, 4 of which are new businesses right now. I mean, that is an investment in this community.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's my investment. And if I wasn't creating something like that, I can understand where you're coming from, but I am giving back. I'm giving back more than most people in this community do.
I would agree.
So if you want to stop short and just loan money, then
What if,
Yeah, sorry, go for it.
what if I was to look over the literature that specifically says that we don't fund fees? Would you guys mind if I pursue a little bit of search, because as Justin said, we don't know where to look for that language in our rules and regulations.
I bet you're Ruth right now.
Okay,
Ruth has been for the law.
here, okay,
She would probably know, yeah.
I'll communicate with her, because it might give you a little more
I
perspective.
love that document.
Pardon me?
Can you email that to? The
You're
document.
talking to a technological dinosaur.
Alright,
When we get the information,
thanks.
we will have Sarah follow up accordingly, yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, maybe, you know, 'cause maybe with this discussion can go a little bit further, so. And that's all I'm gonna say.
All right.
I want to thank-
Grants are bad anyway, Terry, because you
What's
gotta pay
that?
taxes on them.
Huh?
If you get a grant, you gotta pay taxes on it. Well, that's,
So
that kind of takes some of the joy out of it.
Does that mean you turn down grants?
No, I pay taxes, but I usually ask.
So do I pay taxes too.
Oh, yeah, no, you guys are both super great community members who contribute so much to the neighborhood. We love what everyone's doing here. We just gotta, keep our budget from, our balance sheet. Okay, next is Main Street lights.
No. Just on her, this is Jennifer, she is the head of the Bridge Gang. I'm the head of the Chamber of the Community Foundation. This project is really looking to just enhance downtown. There's been a lot of work put into, see the possibilities and the opportunities, of putting electrical outlets in the downtown. It was not done, when the highway project was done, only on the plaza or other outlets for holiday decorations and things like that. So, we went through the work of, getting the quote and seeing the viability of the project, and we are here, asking for, $18,000 to get this project done.
Yeah, so like I just told Terry, we're not very excited about grant opportunities right now. We're really looking for ways to increase our balance sheet as we continue to go out for more money. We've got to be able to show these banks that we are getting a return and that we're able to, live up to our fiduciary responsibilities. We love the idea of continued investment into downtown. This is not a formal ruling, so this is I'm just giving you sort of the general opinion. We're gonna say,
I'm curious how we say that from that end of the table when there's a massively hemorrhaging priority or pet project of sidewalks, the public investment it's hemorrhaging from 2 to 3 times what the engineering cost was to at least twice the size of what sidewalks were in an area of town that is deemed the future economics, which quite frankly is absurd. As somebody who's dealt with local businesses for over 15 years, there's far more valuable property. And so I struggle a little bit, Victor, with you telling both of these applications that we have to be cautious, we have to do this, we only loan when we're trying to outlay hundreds of thousands of dollars. Balance sheet that we're gonna put other people's projects off, but we're not gonna put our own projects off, which aren't gonna show the banks, which aren't gonna show the lending, that we're getting any return on investment. So it's a little frustrating, and I feel like it's a little bit on both sides here.
I appreciate that frustration. I just also want to make it very clear. It's not Victor personally that's telling you these things, having these conversations. It's Victor that's responding to previous votes and communications and agreements with the board ahead of time. So my only ability in this position is to hear the petitions, tell you what's been going on from the consensus, and then make my advice.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that this still can't move forward to the board, or could be seen from the board. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, we appreciate hearing your frustrations, because this is the type of information that the board is gonna want to and need to consider as we continue to move forward with these types of projects. And the third thing is, while nothing exists in a vacuum, and I understand that many of you are competing for a same, a pot of capital. The individual projects themselves have to just carry their own gravity. And so even though there's something else being considered or something else, moving forward, doesn't necessarily mean this isn't also valid.
Okay.
So I appreciate that. Do you guys have anything on that? All set?
I think so.
Okay, well then. I mean, like I said, we're mostly looking for loan opportunities if we're gonna be doing anything. We understand the civic contribution this is gonna be making, and it does, in my opinion, personal opinion, help satisfy one of the things that TURA is supposed to do, which is take care of some of the intangibles, some of the things that may otherwise have been underinvested in, hence sidewalks, hence lights, things like that. So we'll continue to let this move forward and come before the board.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Any concerns?
I don't have any concerns other than, you just pointed that the full board will hear about the discussion we had tonight with these 2 clients.
Yes, absolutely.
Or favor.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you so much.
I think we have, you don't even need more.
Nope, if you want to worry about that, you're ready. Great. All right, with that, we're gonna call the B&J meeting to an end at 6:19 PM on Wednesday, March 25th.
Now that the meeting